sense of humor and the laugh through the challenges, and you find strength.
Zone 104.3 FM.
Good morning. Welcome to High Voltage. Today is Wednesday, 30th of October 2024. We are so glad to see that October it's on its way out. So by tomorrow it's going to be over and it will be November when everybody starts to prepare for the Christmas season, and it's looking bleak for Nigerians as we've woken up this morning to the third a fuel price hike in the past 60 days. That is something that we have never experienced before as a nation. And as we approach the December season, one wonders how people are going to be able to carry around their seasonal celebrations this year. It's unfortunate that transportation is a big issue for most Nigerians now, and that will also include insecurity on our roads on every part of the country, and of course the most important part of the story, which is the fact that it is unbelievably expensive to afford food and little commodities that one requires for daily life in the country these days. Unfortunately. Welcome to High Voltage. My name is Mavis Atadume, and this morning I'm just alone in the studio, so we have enough time to actually look at the things that are happening in our country and share our personal opinions on these issues. All right. I will also remind you to always keep your comments simple, clean, and civil, as I will allow you to share your thoughts and contributions and analysis with me this morning on the headlines and some of the activities that we have seen happening in our country, at least since this week. All right, I would like to welcome you to the program once again. We are live on YouTube at High Voltage News. Like, subscribe, and share what we're doing. And of course, catch up on all top and breaking stories on High Voltage News on YouTube, which is the Volt FM High Voltage News channel on YouTube. You'll be doing us a lot of favor if you join us on that particular platform this morning. Also, you can join the conversation on Facebook at Volt 1043 FM. You have to type that together on Facebook to be able to join the conversation as well. Now, you can call 0706 048 5853. And alternately, you can call 0915 570 8347 to be a part of the show. That is the numbers that you will call to join us live in the studio this morning. And don't forget to send a text message or WhatsApp message to those numbers as well. Let's start with the Premium Times newspaper this morning and tell you what's on the news. There's a lot going on. Of course, you've already heard from Jason, and of course from other news channels, if you've been keeping up, that there's been a new price hike when it comes to petrol. How do you feel about this? Okay, how do you feel about this? In all of our complaints about how some sympathy should be thrown to the people, how some consideration could be extended to the people, only for us to wake up this morning and there's been another increase in pump price of petroleum, especially in Abuja and Lagos, which invariably is going to affect everyone else across the country. How do you feel about this morning? We will get into the details of that story much later. Let's tell you from the Premium Times this morning that Niger lawmakers raise alarm as bandits take over Nigerian military largest training camp. I don't know if you ever heard this before, but Niger lawmaker, that is the Niger state, the lawmakers have raised alarm as bandits take over Nigerian military largest training camp. That is in the news this morning. Kidnapped Nigerian professor escapes from captivity. from the Premium Times this morning. Tinubu's top tax reform advisor replies Northern governor's objection to bills on VAT. You will get a lot more on that story later, as the Northern governors are opposing the bill that's been raised in the National Assembly about having Nigerian states receive VAT according to the IGR that they have generated as a state. And you know what? For some reason, I don't know what reasons that is, but the northern governors are disagreeing with this bill with everything they have. So if you know why that is, you can join us this morning to share your thoughts and analysis on these stories this morning. Updated, the Dangote Group tells NNPC and oil marketers to stop exporting petrol, says the refinery has enough. All right. Dangote is telling NNPC and oil marketers to stop importing petrol as its refinery has enough. But isn't it the kind of things that we get to listen to around here? They are quite shocking, considering all the conundrum that this refinery from Dangote has, caused. You will think that the fact that it started working and it's functional and it's able to generate what we need is going to be enough for some of these bodies. But apparently, NNPC and other oil marketers, for some reason best known to them, prefer to still import petroleum into the country. I don't know why that is, and we're trying to find out this morning. You can join the show, call the numbers, send a text message or a WhatsApp message to share your views this morning. Minister announces date for power restoration in northern Nigeria. We gather that it is 72 hours, but hey, we will find out. Let's see, let's go to other newspapers and see what we can grab there. Let's go quickly to the Vanguard. And the first story on the Vanguard news this morning is that petrol price up for the third time in 60 days as crude price drops. All right, so we have a third time hike in the past almost 3 months. And that is our reality as a nation. And don't forget that northern Nigeria has been in absolute darkness for more than a week now, and destroying things, lives and properties, and so many things are in jeopardy. And the northern Nigeria, like never before, has been in the news with their disgruntlement with the Bola Tinubu-led presidential administration. They have never been this level of disgruntlement coming from the north. But one wonders why that is, considering that the APC-led government is their preferred party, and also that the Muslim ticket is their preferred ticket. One wonders why they have suddenly become displeased with this particular government. I don't know why, but if you do, I would like to hear why you think so this morning. Moving on, power will be restored in the north in the next 72 hours, says the federal government of Nigeria. And if my math is correct, that should be around Friday. All right, if they're going by the literal hours, probably Saturday morning. But hey, that's some hope for the people in the northern Nigeria. We heard, or I read, that this particular outage of power in the north has actually caused the price of rice to surge to 160,000 naira in the north. I don't know how that mathematics came along, but that's also in the news this morning. It's in our investigated stories, and I will get to that real quickly. All right, let's see if we can grab a couple more from the Vanguard. Right, Governor Peter Mba flags off construction of 44 kilometers Ameke Ore Iwolo Olo Umulokpa Road. If you know where that is, it's if you're leaving Enugu through the Nsukka axis, of course, that is the Benue Enugu connecting road. That is the Ore Iwololo Umulokpa Road. His Excellency Governor Peter Ndubuisi Mba has been on a road rehabilitation spree, and trust me, the results are unbelievable. There are some parts of Enugu that hasn't gotten that level of attention in a long time. And I must say, it's very commendable of His Excellency, and of course, we hope to see more of such good works coming from him. All right, let's move over this morning to the Punch newspaper, where the story seems a little more steamier. Again, NNPCL hikes petrol prices and fixes it at 1,060 naira per liter. That is where we are, and this is just uh, 30th of October. Who knows what we would have seen before the end of this year? It's a lot to look forward to, isn't it? Anyways, advantages of a weak naira. You might want to find that out on the Punch newspaper this morning. If there's anything like that, you might want to find out for yourself. All right, Dangote Fort fuel import as Tinubu summons Edun, Dangote and Kiari. Well, we would like to see that when these men who have been mentioned here sit down to talk, I hope that in all of their discussions there is some sympathy amongst them, that they will consider the Nigerian people's situation in all of their disagreements and in all of their business arrangements, because apparently none of these people seem to be working for us. These people seem to be working for themselves. So I'm thinking that by the time these four men sit down to have a conversation, I'm hoping that by God, they will consider the Nigerian people in their decision making and try to do something about our current state. Right. I've also seen that the IMF is completely trying to be oblivious of our situation here, claiming they know nothing about the decisions being made here economically, and that they haven't supported our government to take its economic decisions. That is such a blatant lie coming from the IMF and the World Bank, considering that we have been reading statements coming from them for the past months, encouraging all of these reforms, encouraging these policies. And what is it with the lies and the disrespect for the intelligence of the Nigerian people, where we are told things and they are reiterated, and they are taken away, promises made and not kept or fulfilled, and we have no one to ask. There is no one to speak for us. We have no one to ask for accountability and transparency. It's unfortunate that this is the people that we are becoming at a time like this. Let's continue with the Punch newspaper this morning. Police prosecute lawmaker Ikweche for assaulting driver. Now, you can catch up on that Ikweche story on High Voltage News on YouTube. We've tried to analyze it. We've tried to give you the stories from all angles, right? The House of Representatives has claimed that they will not be suspending Alex Ikweche as Nigerians had hoped. Instead, they will investigate the matter. That is coming from the House of Reps this morning. But also, the Nigerian police is also saying that they will not let it slide, that they will prosecute the said lawmaker. Anyways, drop your comments, contributions, and analysis on any of these headlines as they affect you this morning. You can call live into the studio, or you can reach us through other social media platforms this very morning, okay? Please foil, okay? Please foil terrorist attack in Imo and kill one suspect. All right, moving on. No official response from the federal government on strike, says SANU. If you have been listening to the news, SANU and the non-academic staff of Nigerian universities have decided to go on a strike, citing the non-fulfillment of agreements from the federal government and them over the years. And apparently they called that strike yesterday, and the federal government till now hasn't responded nor said anything. So our young university students are at home presently, and that is the reality this morning. Judge Saman's mother for sounds cybercrime. Okay, I think that's the much that we can take on, the business news from the Punch this morning. All right, so 32 states got 55% of revenue from FAC, says report. Also, northern governors are still opposing the bill for states to receive VAT according to what they have generated, you know, yearly. One wonders why the North doesn't want such an agreement or such an arrangement, but that is what it is this morning. Let's quickly move over to our investigated stories and tell you what's up. All right, week-long blackout in northern Nigeria drives up the bag of rice to 160,000 naira, says Sahara reporters. Maybe there are some economic reasons why that is, but one would expect that when there is no electricity in an entire region, that is something that is quite unbelievable to say the least. And also, have you ever wondered why this happened? Oh, I'm going to tell you why this happened, why there hasn't been light, or why there hasn't been electricity nor power in the north for the past 1 week. Oh, there is a reason. The federal government has given a reason why that is happening. And I'm not sure you would like to hear it, but here it comes. Okay, let me see if I can find that particular story because it's on the very first this morning. But it seems that terrorists have taken over some of the power plants in the north. Yes, that is the reality of the northern power outage situation this morning. It seems that terrorists have taken over the uh, the power plant in Niger State, where the main power station that gives power to that region is situated. Now, we've heard this morning that some terrorists have also taken over the largest military training camp in Niger State as well. And we have also heard that these terrorists have also vandalized the power station in Niger State. This is unbelievable. And the government is reporting it back to the people as the reason why there hasn't been electricity in the north for the past 1 week plus. One wonders, is anybody still doing their jobs in this country? Does any of the people we have elected to take care of this country, is any one of them actually still doing their jobs? Well, I don't know. Moving on, President Tinubu is aware of the hardship and there is light at the end of the tunnel, says Governor Sule. All right, coming from reported stories from the Punch, in Nigeria, over 25 million people live with disabilities, with women representing a significant portion. Now, the Association of Anambra State Women with Disabilities have revealed the numerous troubling barriers that women face in accessing health care. And that is calling on all the governors in the Southeast to give the disabled some consideration in their government. I remember the previous administration of Buruburu in Enugu State, that is Ifeanyi. Uh, he was very particular about the disabled in Enugu State. I am particularly aware of this because I was in a few of the seminars and some of the trainings that were arranged by his government to you know, give funds and help and attention to the disabled in Enugu. And I'm hoping that Governor Ndubisi Peter Mba would also uh, put them into consideration and also do something for them in his government. All right, and that goes for other governors in the southeast, especially. Please consider the less privileged in your state, and please, they have a ministry. Continue to do what you can for all of them. All right, let's take that story again. Terrorists take over Nigeria's largest military training camp in Niger State. That is a real thing. Okay, that is a real thing. Now we have these people trying to run our military out of their own spaces, and all of this is happening in the north. Is this a boomerang? What is going on? Is it something that can be tackled? Is it something that can be helped at this point? Because this is in our news. You would think that for the sake of military protection, that this kind of story wouldn't come out back to the Nigerian people, but it is real. It's on the news this morning that terrorists have taken over Nigeria's largest military training camp in Niger State. And that reiterates our talk on insecurity in this country. It is literally happening in all corners of this country. Our lives and properties are daily becoming unsafe and unsafer as we're looking on. One wonders, what are our security forces doing? And even if they have limitations, what is the government whom have given them the job of protection? What are they doing to help that situation? We have seen trillions, trillions of the Nigerian naira being put into projects that Nigerians probably do not even have need for. But our basic needs are seriously neglected, like our security forces and the level of reformation that they deserve to serve Nigeria to the best of their capacity. Nobody talks about that. Just 2 days ago, Vice President Shatima, for some reason, needs a new private jet. If not, his life is in danger. These are the kind of projects that our dear nation hurries to fulfill and leave the actual job we've actually employed them to do for us. Well, let's move it on. Northern governors oppose bill to share VAT based on derivation. One wonders why that is. Why do they not want VAT to be shared according to generated income by the states? Who knows why that is? Could it be because the North naturally doesn't generate much IGR on their own? Could that be the reason? Who knows? Anyways, speaking of CNG, it turns out for people to convert to CNG, they need 1.5 million naira to do that. And Dr. Adila Tinuke asks if it is logical for people who cannot afford to eat to begin to convert their vehicles to CNG with 1.5 million naira in a country like this. Well, I do not know. Perhaps we are rich and nobody told me. Mm, Perhaps we have money that nobody told me about. But that's what's happening this morning. On the Vanguard News, economic poverty. Families now go for fish heads instead of meat just to get some protein going on for the family. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
You're welcome.
This is Charles Omasibo.
You're welcome, Charles.
Talking about taking over the military, largest military camp in Nigeria. That's very embarrassing, you know. I mean, they get emboldened every day. I know when Buhari was there as president, they were even attacking military barracks. When Goodluck was there as president, he once said that some of his cabinet members are members of Boko Haram.
Mm.
So the thing is growing wings day by day. And nobody, that's one thing to ask. How many people are in Nigeria's military? How many personnel do we have compared to other nations? Do you know that even if you go to the waters, our Navy, you know, Nigeria has not one single, not one submarine
Are you
in
sure?
Nigeria's Navy. I'm telling you the truth. I've gone through this thing.
Mm.
Algeria has 8 submarines. Egypt has 8 submarines. Egypt has no aircraft carriers.
But Charles, why do you think that they are not taking our security seriously? Because I mean, obviously this is supposed to be done. Why do you think they are not doing it?
They are not putting up money for it, enough money for it. I don't know the reason why they're not doing it. But yet, the military men are very rich. I've been to the general house before. You go to the generals leave. They get their, even colonels. They live like they live like movie stars. Yet the military men, the men who go to the war, are not well equipped. You are also aware that there was a time in the military, the junior, the rank and file, did a mutiny. Do you remember?
I'm with you. We've had some of them lose their jobs as well.
Yeah. So the sooner we begin to take care of the military, the better for us. Both land, air, and sea. You know, Yesterday, I heard in the news that Iran has tripled their military budget because of the attack they received from Israel.
Of course.
Iran, they are planning to triple their defense budget. When people say that terrorism that is not easy to stop, is a lie. There was a time in Algeria, about 10, 15 years ago, there was an attack by terrorists on a park in Algeria that killed about 250 something people. From that day, Algeria tripled their defense budget. So you can't give what you don't have. You know what I'm trying to say?
I'm with you.
If you
I'm
put
with
money in
you.
the
I'm right
military,
here.
recruit men, increase the personnel, buy the best of drones, these things will stop. But I still think there is interpretation somewhere along the line. Maybe people even not that I don't like it. If not that I certain I do not like it. You understand? They're trying to just bring down this government. Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Wow, Charles, thank you for calling. But this is confusing for me, going by your premise. Because during the Jonathan administration, it was said that the terrorism was on purpose to unseat his government or to make his government uncomfortable, which, going by that ideology, worked. Right, but now we have the Buhari administration, which was the preferred Muslim presidency, and we still had these terrorists doing their thing in the nation and making the place unbearable for everybody. Kids were kidnapped as well from schools, and all kinds of horrible things also happened in the Buhari administration. And do not forget that that man was once a military head of this country, and that happened during his administration. And now we have another Muslim ticket from the same party, APC. So you cannot say that they are trying to destabilize the government. Destabilize whose government? It's not like it's an enemy government. This is their preferred candidature. This is their preferred parties. This is their preferred ticket. So this can't necessarily be about trying to destroy anybody's government. I'm thinking this might be inter-terrorism we are looking at, since nobody wants to give it a lot of attention. It's time to wonder if this is state-sponsored terrorism. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
You're welcome, sir.
Yeah, this is Frank calling.
You're welcome, Frank.
Yeah, you see, one of the things we don't understand here is this. The military, we are once the gorilla of Africa, Nigerian military.
Okay.
The coming of Boko Haram destabilized all these things because people started politicizing it. They started letting the militaries know that they are Christians, they are Muslims, they are pagans. Before they see themselves as Nigerian army.
Okay.
Not Christians, not Muslims. Can you believe sometimes some years back in Meduguri fighting Boko Haram, there was this particular sniper who was shot by his own fellow military man because he was killing too much of the Boko Haram people.
I see. We have heard of these reports too.
And what are we talking about? You see the generals living like kings. When they give you money to go and buy weapons, you buy inferior weapons, you bring down to the recruits to go and die. I lost a friend, a school friend of mine, who just graduated from army, Nigerian army, who spent 6 years, no experience of war. They took him to Sambisa.
I see.
He just died there. His mom is still crying for that. It's almost 8 years now. No experience. You see them politicizing it. Go and buy a good weapon. They go there, buy whatever they like. They bring it because they know. Look at the Nigerian militaries. All having pot belly. All of them having pot belly. What will they do? Nothing. They politicize it. Everything become politics. They now divide the military. Military doesn't know they are military. They now see themselves as Christians and Muslims. But before it is, their powers now is now on civilian, standing on the road collecting money. Before, when you see a military man, you feel a sense of secure, a sense of security. You become happy. These days, when you see them, you frown face. In America, when you see people, civilians snapping, taking pictures with military, they are happy. In Nigeria, you try it, they smart your phone. The next thing, they beat you up. So all these things are the contributions. Look at the way the Boko Harams are taking over our barracks, as if they are taking over markets.
Are you there,
The
sir?
problem we have is the politicians. They are the big problem we are having. The politicians. Thank you and God bless you.
God bless you too, sir. Thank you so much for sharing your very deeply thought, articulated observations with us this morning. We are gathering thoughts and ideas about what is happening. This kind of reports, especially the fact that it can be reported back to us like this, so casually, like it's a regular thing. How do you say things like this? These kind of statements are very, very, very undemocratic at all. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, sir. You're welcome, Justice. How are you this morning, sir? Welcome.
If you are going Enugu, if you are traveling to Enugu now.
To Aba?
If you are going, you are coming, you are going from Aba to Enugu.
Yes.
People that went off recent say you can't up to, or is it 20 something or something checkpoint or more than?
I remember this time last year. I counted up to 15.
The last I went to Aba, it was around 17 or something. I can't 18. But of recent now, people say it's more than 20 something.
It's possible. I've also seen that assessment.
And these are military, our military men who are supposed to be in the north fighting insurgency. They are here fighting a war that they don't even know exists. A war that exists in the mind.
But the important question is, why are they here?
That's the question.
Why are they here?
The question. We need to ask our leaders, our political leaders, why are they here? Does them being here, has it stopped crime? The answer is no. People are saying it on a daily basis. People are being kidnapped along that road, where you have many checkpoints, and people are being kidnapped. No, you know why some people, those who are in the military, are enjoying? Because it is a very lucrative job now.
Really?
It's no longer for service. It's very, very lucrative.
An entire nation's military system.
Yes, and that job, that profession should have been a selfless service, but it has become a profit profit for them. So let me tell you, why should the insurgents take over a military base, the largest military base? Where were the soldiers then?
I don't understand that kind of headline. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it.
So they can run, but when they see a civilian, they start beating up a civilian. They can run and leave a whole military that is sophisticated with weapons. They can't fight back. Is it that we have cowards as our security agents?
I don't understand.
Before you go into that profession, you have already signed your death warrant. And if at the end of the day you were able to retire without anything, you thank God. It's a decision that you take. It's just like a reverend father. It's a decision you take. Nobody forced you into it. You are not going there for personal gain. You know that at any time, one of my friend, a military man, tell me that he is prepared for death any moment.
No.
So anything about death does not fear him. Anything about that, he preferred to die by the gun than being poisoned. So it's something that we prepare. I don't know why these people should leave their duty where they have much work to do and they go to where they have lesser work to do. And this issue of Dangote, I don't want to talk about Dangote again, because Dangote is not a problem of this country. It's obvious.
Justice, please explain.
Okay, now we are buying fuel 600 and something naira. Dangote came, and he was with all the promises that when the refineries start working, we are the fuel will come down to so price. At the end of the day, what do we have? See, people who are sympathizing with Dangote does not know the nature of that man.
It's not the sympathy. What I'm trying to put my hands around is the NNPCL and these other independent importers. Please, why are they still buying fuel from outside of this place if Dangote is able to supply what they require? Let me understand.
Don't believe what Dangote says.
Don't believe Dangote.
Don't believe him. Don't believe him. If you know Dangote, don't believe whatever he says. He's only trying to garner sympathy from the public. That is what, at the end of the day, he implements what he wants.
So that means our government has probably not represented us well with that arrangement they have made with Dangote. Is that what you're saying?
It's an arrangement that is meant to fail.
An arrangement that's meant to fail. For whom now? Because the thing has fallen on us. You understand? The thing fall on top of our head. Because now we're going from price hike to price hike. There's a lot of confusion. Nobody is responsible. The oil minister, who is the president, does not know anything. The NNPCL does not know anything. Dangote does not know anything. So who exactly are we supposed to be looking at?
When NNPC was supply of that fuel.
Yes.
Do you know we never, for almost a year now.
We never had what? Scarcity, yes, of course, I'm aware.
See, until people begin to understand the man, Dangote, you know that any business he ventures in is always a capitalist, and he doesn't have the people's interest at heart. He's always there to make profit, and not only to make profit, to make maximum. When he was about to build this refinery, I never adapted to that idea. I never adapted to it, but he sold the whole imaginary concept to the people, which people buy into. And you know,
it's not imaginary, Justice. You're saying this like the Nigerian people. Like, for the first time, we're going to have our own refinery that works, that functions. Was it such a bad thing that Nigerians were happy to hear that such a good thing was going to happen?
Now, if I come out today now and tell people I'm going to provide water for them, they will jubilate. You don't ask question, how is this impossible?
Not when I know you can do it. It's just like my boss walking in here and says they're going to give me a promotion, because I know they are able to do that. Why will I not believe it? That's the thing. It's like we play with Nigerians. Is it enough that when our elites and the people we give power to, we give them the authority to run our lives, when they say things, we cannot believe them?
People have been in this position before. People have been in this position before. So Dangote knows, someone like Dangote, I knows him, and I will never believe in him. If you want to believe in Dangote, it's left for you. But for someone like me, I don't believe Dangote, and I will never believe him. Even if Dangote promised me heaven on this earth, now, as far as it is coming from his mouth, I will never believe such person. It's just like the hope we had on Buhari. Buhari told us that he's going to do this, and now what happened? Man fails. It's only God that will not fail. Good morning.
Good morning to you too, Justice. Have a lovely day, sir. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. An entire military system for an entire country being played like ping pong, being played like a joke. It's unbelievable. Our military men are in the streets. They are on the roads. They are at checkpoints. They are attached to officials of state. They are running bodyguard systems. And now we have military, we have terrorists running them out of camp, going and vandalizing major infrastructure, enough to destabilize entire regions. This is unbecoming. This is unbelievable. Good morning. Good morning to you, sir. I the one man namuku keke mesa. You're welcome. You're welcome, sir.
Now, when people talk about this Dangote something and they say the only thing that Dangote wants is to become a monopoly, why should somebody be annoyed that fuel is being imported? He has the power to stop it now. The power he has is, assuming he decides to crash the price of his own fuel to 800 naira, which is true for the one that is being imported. Are you getting me?
Okay. Okay.
Even if we have the 500 million, nobody naturally go. Problem is not supply. Yeah, how much is it? Like you go to that market. There was a time the poor man told us that he wanted to crash the price of fuel to 3,000 naira. People from whatever refused. And then it was instrumental to the increase in the price. I talk about the fuel back, go and get it. I don't know whether I understand that.
I'm with you.
If you crash, well, people will go for your phone.
That is true.
So, calling the federal and then DSL or whatever is wrong. And then Asia can, Africa can, yeah, with fuel. Even with fuel, we know me, I call up Russia fuel.
I hear you.
So, on the issue of these people, military people in the Southeast, who are responsible for it. You see, I have some of my friends in the police. They say they are ready to pay 500,000 naira to make sure they are deployed to the Southeast or anywhere in the Southeast or Lagos.
Why is that?
If don't go to Guelta and stand and collect any money on the road.
But why would they stand on the road? Stand on the road. Why are they standing there?
That's what I'm telling. Police equally stand on the road in the north. But the issue is that those people do not give them money. There was a time we traveled to Napa.
Okay. Imagine. I can understand that, yes. I'm with you. Yes. Yes. Okay. Yes. Yes. Oh, really? Oh, really? They make use of it. So if they finish doing this and then they now report to us that terrorists now vandalize the power stations and of course they're taking over military camps, what are we supposed to do with this information now? Hmm. Hmm. It has gone digital. Apparently. You don't mean it. But apparently, nobody wants to do anything about these behaviors. Since I was born, it has been that way. Government after government, administration after administration. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Standing on the road and collecting money is part of I don't understand this. The IG of police is aware that they collect money and then they have a share. Oh dear. Okay. Are you? Okay, so so at this point it's legal to collect money from motor users on the roads if it goes through all this process. Uh, you don't mean it. Mm, mm. Mm-hmm. It's okay, Mr. Okay. Thank you very much for calling into the show this morning. I think this is probably where we will have to drop it this morning. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. It's unfortunate that this is where we are. This is whom we have become as a nation. Our military looking like a joke in the face of world crisis and in the face of national crisis. Now we have terrorists running our military out of camp, taking major infrastructure, national infrastructure, and putting an entire region into complete darkness and dissolution. It's unbelievable the kind of disrespect that the Nigerian people are receiving from its government at this point. There is no consideration for the mentality of the Nigerian people, nor consideration for her intelligence at this point. We have seen that some of our problems are quite solvable, but for some supernatural reason, they remain unsolved. The reforms that are years expected have not been tried because people have other agendas when it comes to dealing with Nigeria. We hope that one of these days someone does one thing that will affect the Nigerian people in a positive way, other than bad news and destabilization from every corner. I hope that today you are able to do something good for yourself and that you are able to make very good use of your day. I know that the pressure to live here is becoming almost unbearable, but I want to encourage you as a Nigerian this morning to think of love first for yourself and for everyone around you, and perhaps we might be able to do something good with our country eventually. Have a beautiful day. My name is Mavis Atudumi. I'll see you again tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. till